Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weekly Wrap-Up. So I'm going to be trying something a little bit different this time. I'm trying to work on my production value a little bit, so I'm not going to be dealing with the microphone this time. We're just going to be talking into the speaker. Just going to relax a little bit. Just sent Vegan the invite. My apologies for the tardiness. There was a situation in trying to get to the studio location properly. So let me go ahead and get over here to the channel and say what's up to the folks in the chat before we get started. I want to chat about a few things that went on this week. Just some other silly stuff that's going on around here. All right, what's up? Peter Steins, Flathead Politics, what's up with you? MJ Givens, what's good? What's good? Yeah, all's well. Thank you. Miss Jones in the house. How you doing, China? All right, Monty, Conan 68, Virginia Chase. Let me see who else we got. My man Poncheezy. Hey, I got something about that that meme that you put up earlier. I like that. I like that. How you had the, you know what I'm talking about. My man Poncheezy. All right, Alan Zapata. All right, the Fully Awakened, Josiah Perez, what's up, CZO S, Flat Earth Vegans, how you doing, Peanuts Clark, Dariel Elman, what's up, Matthew Stevenson, the Great, all right, Joey Silva in the house, Sharonda, what's up, hey, Caleb, BW, what's up, Big Vegan, hey, I sent you the link, man, whenever you're ready, sir, whenever you're ready, so, yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about some of the things that went on this week. One of these things is just hilarious. So before we get super into this thing, like real deep, just wanted to give another shout out to Allegedly Dave. Had a really good chat with him on Sunday. That was really cool. And then if you haven't seen Allegedly Dave on his channel, he was actually invited out to a college in London to do a presentation on flat Earth, and yeah, he said that he was pretty well received, so he's out here spreading the word. That man, he's a wealth of information. If you're not subscribed to Allegedly Dave, get over there, subscribe to his channel, check out some of his videos. I'll be chatting with him again, probably offline, and we might very well be doing a follow-up, because I don't know, I thought that was a really good interview. I thought that was a really good time. Yeah, Dave's one of my heroes in this whole thing, man. Got lots of respect for that man. Awesome dude, Mr. Murphy. But yeah, let me see. Still getting set up over here. Y'all know how we get down. Let me see. We got the volume up on this. All right. I see my man VW's in the house. What's up, Vegan?
What's good?
Hey, you already know, man. It's, whole lot going on in the flat Earth world. We just gonna talk about a little bit of it. But yeah, I got a few little topics put out there. But well, yeah, you know that the First Man came out in theaters today.
Right.
Who's that? Ryan Gosling's playing Neil Armstrong, and they're gonna go over that whole thing, that whole situation. We need a fresh round of indoctrination for the newcomers,
right.
Because our generation, I'll say my generation, you got a couple years on me, but you know what I'm saying, we haven't seen any legit space travel. I mean, the whole idea that, yeah, they went to space like back in '69, early '70s and all that, fake the 6 moon missions and all. Yeah, that's fine, but we haven't seen anything, since I took my first breaths. All I've seen is CGI pictures, low Earth orbit missions that they can't go beyond low Earth orbit, that type of stuff. So it's just BS, man. But yeah, that's coming out today. Here, let me show you one thing about this situation with First Man, and I just wanted to show you this. Okay, so we got the advertisement. Ryan Gosling, Claire Foy, First Man coming to theaters, and that's releasing today. But here, I mean, they tell you in plain sight what it is. Experience the impossible journey to the moon. The impossible journey. They let you know that it's impossible right there, but they're gonna give you the impression that it is possible because, you know, we can make movies about it all of a sudden. Right. You know. So yeah, just wanted to point that little part out, man.
Yeah. They gotta keep the lie alive by redoing it and modernizing it for each generation. So, I mean, you got a new generation of kids coming in, you got new adults, new 21-year-olds who got to believe in the globe and in the moon mission. So they keep redoing it to keep it relevant.
Absolutely. Yep. But, I mean, so people have an issue with my approach to flat earth and having these discussions with people because the way that society's been set up is that if you are deemed to be an intellectual or someone that knows what they're talking about, a smart person, somebody that can actually convey a point and sound somewhat credible, you have to be speaking over people's head. You got to be talking on a level to where you kind of confuse the average person and render them to a position to where they kind of can't keep up. So what happens is they'll just say the smart guy that's saying all the big words, they've got it figured out, so I don't even have to think about it.
Right.
So because I speak so simply about things, you know, people say, you know, they'll call me ignorant. You know, I'm you know, just kind of slow or something. I'm like, no, it's not like that. It's a matter of being able to reach as broad an audience as possible. So don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted, folks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, in my experience, some of the dumbest people that I've met were quote unquote intelligent people. Just bad decision making, lacking common sense. You know, book knowledge does not equate to intelligence. It doesn't.
No.
There's a difference between being well versed in your field of study and actually having common sense. Is a big deal. I mean, it's a big difference.
Right.
So I think a lot of people confuse that, and they also confuse success for intelligence. You know, a guy is born into a rich family, and his family gets him into Harvard, and he hasn't had to work a day in his life. All of a sudden, because he graduated from Harvard, he's intelligent.
Right.
You know, we got a lot of false perceptions in our world that people accept to be true without testing it. But I'm telling you, I run in my business, I run into a lot of well-educated dumb people. They're all over the place.
Right. Right. It's I actually saw a meme today. It was like a picture. It just had a saying on it, if I can remember. It said something along the lines of, so one guy, so there's two friends sitting in the room. They're both watching a TV. They're both inside. Nobody's gone outside. Now there's the weatherman's going to pop on and he's going to say it's raining outside.
Right.
One of them's going to believe the weatherman with investigating. The other's actually going to go outside to check. And that's kind of where we are right now. You know, we deal with the people that are just going to believe what they're told by the box. Whereas what we like to do, we're going to go check it. We're going to go check it. We're not just going to, you know, believe what somebody says just because they're wearing a suit or using these fancy terms and all that. It's, you know, it's time out for that, because we come to a point in history, in our knowledge of society, that As adults, I feel like a lot of people can't quite grasp the concept that they can be lied to.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people won't even consider that. It's like a lot of people don't understand what it is to have someone tell you a bold-faced lie with a straight face and act like there's nothing wrong, and then later they find out and they're just shocked. Like, I don't know, man.
Well, again, it goes back to what I always say. You know, you can accept things simply because it's popular, or you can actually look for the truth. Just because ideas are popular, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're true. And most folks are of a herd mentality, so they gravitate towards popular things. The other aspect of it is they embrace belief systems without testing their beliefs. Very few people like testing the things that they believe. They just want to accept them and pretty much hope that it's true. One of the challenges that we have is convincing people that it's okay to believe things, but you should always check your beliefs. If you don't, how can you grow? You know,
right.
I mean, no matter what it is, it could be religion, it could be politics, it could be, you know, whatever. Check what is told to you and run it through a filter and see if it's true or not. You know, that's all I'm saying. And if it's true, keep embracing it. If it's not true, try to find out why it's not true, why you can't find tangible evidence for the stuff that you think is true. You know, go down the rabbit hole and look. And then when you do that, that's when you become kind of like in the category that we're in. You know, I challenge everything. I even challenge people when they're speaking to me. When they're taught today, I sat with an employee who said that they had a problem, and they're sitting there talking to me, and I'm thinking, there's no logic or no rational things coming out of their mouth based on their claims. So I started asking the who, what, when, and where. And the more questions I asked, the more we uncovered that almost everything this employee was saying was a lie. So how do you discover who's a liar and who's not? Well, you got to question them. And the one thing liars don't want, liars never, ever, ever want to be questioned. NASA will never answer our questions because they're liars.
Oh, no.
You know?
Oh, heck no.
They're liars. Liars never want to be questioned because that's the means of exposing the truth that this person is being deceptive. You know, and that's why they get, like, one of your topics is, why do people get so frustrated? They get frustrated because they can't defend the belief system or the lie.
Right.
If you can't defend the belief system or the lie, the last thing you want is somebody asking you questions.
True story.
You know,
true story.
That's just how it is.
And that was something that I thought about this morning. I put a post up along the lines like, I feel like the global believers, they'll take us saying that the earth is flat and they respond as if it's a personal attack. And I'm like, it's not a personal attack, okay? They act like we're calling them stupid. And what I put on the post, I'm like, yo, just to clarify, we're not calling you stupid. We're saying that the idea of living on a spinning ball with water sticking to it, flying around a fireball in infinite space, we don't feel any emotion, we don't see any curvature. That is what we're saying is stupid. Right. Believing nonsense. Okay, because we're all adults at this point, and it's kind of getting old. It's kind of getting old having to explain this stuff because, you know, they'll try to drag us into these positions where we're talking about, you know the stuff, the stars, eclipses,
right.
seasons. What about the weather? What about storms? What about hurricanes? What about the Coriolis effect? We go into all that stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute. There's no curvature, though.
Absolutely. Well,
Like, so
you do realize that when people talk about and when they're defending their ideas of the globe Earth, it always
mm,
leads back to one thing:
look,
gravity. It always leads back to gravity. And
always.
what I've been doing recently when I have these conversations, as you guys can see, I have these conversations all the time with people. I always ask them, who came up with the concept of gravity? I always ask that.
Hmm.
And those who are in the know usually say Sir Isaac Newton.
Right.
And then I ask them, what period of time was that when Sir Isaac Newton came up with these ideas? And then they tell me. And I said, so prior to Sir Isaac Newton, there was no such thing as gravity.
Nothing.
So just
No.
because he made claims to know how everything is being held together, instantly everyone believed it. How do
I
you
believe
know
it.
that it's true? You see what I'm saying? So anyone who defends gravity, what they're really doing is defending the ideas of Sir Isaac Newton.
Yep.
Because no one in history prior to him came up with the idea of gravity but him.
Yeah. Yeah. And that has since became, like I always say, the glue that holds this whole thing together.
Exactly.
And you're right. And that's why I wrote on the side of the van, I was like, oh, by the way, gravity's a hoax. People hate that. They hate that one. Because
Exactly.
that's always the first thing they're gonna say. Gravity. What are you talking about? I'm like,
So when they throw that at you as an answer, I always ask them, do you know the source of that answer? Like, how did he prove gravity? Or was it a theoretical idea?
oh, it was theoretical. It
You
was
know?
definitely
So I don't understand how from the times of Sir Isaac Newton up to now, people blindly accept the ideas of gravity. And like someone just put in the chat, buoyancy and density. Well, what's the difference? Did he just redefine the words buoyancy and density and
that.
call it gravity?
Well, yeah. Basically, that's basically what happened, in my opinion. Because I mean, the
You
whole
froze.
situation exactly. I'm always talking about this same stuff.
Right.
Gravity works different out in space than it does here on Earth. So I mean, out there it just causes things to orbit. Here, gravity's this force that causes things to be pulled together. Everything's being acted upon by the Earth's gravitational pull coming from the core. Blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, I don't even. It's been slightly annoying lately. I need to take a vacation or something because I'm like,
Right.
these people, man.
Well,
Because
I mean,
it's always the same stuff.
right, because it's taught to them, and they embrace it, and they've embraced it for so long that if it came out that it wasn't true, which that's what we're pretty much telling them,
Yeah.
they would feel it would be an ego attack. How could I have been deceived for so long? You know what I mean? Oh my God,
Yep.
you gotta be wrong. They've deceived me. There's no way they could deceive me. Too many scientists are independent and they wouldn't allow it and this and that. But they don't understand scientists only receive their funding when they go along. All scientists must go along to receive funding. I
Right.
mean, because think about it. If that wasn't true, you'd mean to tell me out of all of the scientific community, we wouldn't have one or two or maybe even 100 flat Earth scientists? Where are
I
all
think
the flat Earth scientists? That's evidence to show you that they all must go along because the flat Earth scientist would never get funded. He would
no.
never get funded. There is no organization, no corporation, no government agency that will finance a flat Earth scientist or a flat Earth science experiment. And if they do, it'll be rigged. So they could say,
Yeah.
oh, the flat Earth scientist was wrong. It's actually a globe.
Yep.
So by not having any flat Earth bona fide, well-known scientists, they are indirectly proving that science is biased.
This is true, but that's the type of you know, deeper than surface level thinking that escapes a lot of today's modern society, and that makes a whole lot of sense. And I mean, just breaking that part down should be a red flag. I mean, and because it's like science is about progress, if I understand correctly. We're not supposed to get to a point to where we say this is settled science and then just shut down any sort of argument for or against anything else. It's like we're supposed to be progressively trying to find out. And there's very few things, if ever, that science actually proves. But it's just a matter of looking into things and then, okay, we're just going to take that, tweak it. We need to experiment on it and then just let it, you know, let the chips fall where they may. But that's not what we do these days. They're like, nope, it's settled science, starts as a globe. We're not going to talk about this anymore. And if we do an actual flat Earth, an actual experiment to determine the shape of the Earth, we're going to find a lady that works for NASA. We're going to find a guy with a science background that's a globe earther out of freaking California or something. And then we're going to find a lady who is a scientist who's going to get on camera and say she's not a scientist. Right. And, you know, we're going to rig it that way. We're going to have a helicopter go behind a CGI horizon at 6 miles out. We're not going to level the laser. We're going to have the thing at freaking 6 feet above the place where they supposedly fire the laser 3 miles back. Dude, they're gonna stack the deck every time. Right. But we already know that. Oh, here, let me get to a question in the chat real quick. All right, so there was Tony Smith. He asked a question. Tony, I appreciate you, man. He said, have you ever covered meteors from a flat Earth perspective? Said he's always wondered about that. So as far as meteors go,
okay.
My thoughts on meteors. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it as far as the meteors go. And my reasoning for that, and I was just thinking about meteors and, you know, this and that, you know, we get like at least once a year, we get some report from NASA saying that some huge meteor the size of Texas almost hit the Earth and we just barely made it. You know what I'm saying? We get a report like that at least once a year. So there's that. The idea of meteors at this point, we only see so here's what the way I see it. We only see that one side of the moon, right? So let's look at the moon and how it has those craters on it. And all these craters are on the one side that's facing towards us. Now, if the Earth is 4 times larger than the moon, all these impact craters seem to be at a 90-degree angle, like perfect circles, like coming right back up at us. So that would mean that some way or another, gotta have my props. Gotta have my props. All right, so here's Earth. We're gonna pretend that this mic is the moon over here. So some way or another, meteor goes over the Earth and then hits the moon. I mean, it's like the moon's way out here. So the meteors would have to go curving over the Earth and then impact the moon from there. It like makes no sense. As far as impact craters supposedly on Earth that were caused by meteors, I was just wanting to do a quick demonstration, and I was really contemplating this for a few minutes earlier today. I'm like, now how can we demonstrate this? Because there are craters on Earth. Of course, people would say that they are from meteors, but inside these craters, it's just a hole. You know what I mean? It's like the meteor impacted the Earth and then disintegrated. Is that what you want me to believe? Like if you go out in your yard, turn on the hose, and you're just watering the yard, you develop this mud hole, and then you take a rock and you throw it into the mud. Yeah, it's gonna create a little dent in the mud, but the rock's not just gonna disappear. So, you know, I'm really skeptical about the idea of meteors at this point. So, what you got on that one, man?
Well, the meteorite that supposedly created the Grand Canyon, that's a clear example of what you're talking about. Whatever created the Grand Canyon is no longer there.
Right.
And that's a big problem. How can you have a hole without the thing that caused the hole? So that makes absolutely no sense. But the problem is you can look at the surface of the moon and see craters, right? So who's to say that those are indentations created by meteorites? Why not the surface sunk in for some reason, you know, due to weather or whatever issues there are? You know, we know from our experience that the weather has a drastic impact on the landmass. So weather shapes the surface of the Earth, not necessarily meteorites. You know, you can't get away from the fact that meteorites, if they're strong enough to dent the Earth, they have to still be around somewhere. They just don't disintegrate. You can't argue that. But on the flip side, I believe there's documented evidence to show meteor showers. I'm not sure, but I think there is. Are we saying as flat earthers that every reported meteorite is not real? Is that our argument? And I don't know if I'm ready to stand behind that argument. So when you say meteorite, we're talking about something that falls out of the sky, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question is, things fall out of the sky that aren't of this plane. That's the real question.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I don't know how to answer that, but I'm gonna tell you this: if meteorites do exist, we got a serious problem with our globe Earth model. Excuse me, with our flat Earth model, because our flat Earth model has a dome. So if there's a dome on a flat Earth model, how in the hell are the meteorites getting through it to hit the ground? That's part of the problem. That's a problem. So I you know, how do we deal with that contradiction? You know what I mean? So if there's a dome, there should be no meteorites, unless the dome is above things that can fall to the earth, to the plane. You see what I'm saying? The meteorites are falling from within the dome. How is that possible?
Man, look.
You see what I'm saying? That's a deep rabbit hole. And that's something, that's the stuff we got to talk about when it comes to our models. That's how come I don't really embrace any particular model as exclusive proof. I mean, I understand the ideas of it, but if meteorites do exist, meaning things can fall out of the sky, where the hell are they coming from? And if they're coming from what science claims outer space, that kind of defeats the argument of a dome. Unless it's stuck to the dome and it just falls off. You know, I don't know. You know, you were talking about the water substance that could make up the dome.
Right.
Could meteorites sit in that stuff for a while, like you did the balloon experiment, and then at some point release and fall to the ground? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's like there's a lot of different aspects of this thing that I'm like, dude, I don't know, because I mean, there was also that other video I did as far as the sky stone, that blue stone that's supposedly made mostly of oxygen. I'm
Right.
like, look, if that's the actual composition of it, they don't know where it came from exactly. I mean, the logical conclusion is okay, maybe, just maybe, it might have come from up there. Now, however the composition goes, I can't do it. I don't know. I really don't, because it's like there seems to be that gaseous layer, or so-called the gas that acts like a liquid. So there seems to be that, and then there could be something higher than that. I don't know. I really don't, because I haven't been up there. I haven't been able to study or examine what's going on up there. So, we're just at a point where we got questions, and
Right.
the thing
Well,
that bothers
I mean,
me,
to the argument against meteorites, we got to also consider how could rock, because meteorites are reported to be rock from outer space, how could rock survive all the different spheres that we have before it hits the plane? All the temperatures and all the different things that, how could it still stay intact? We
Yeah.
have to make, supposedly, science has to make aerodynamic things to go up there. How can rock survive that?
Yeah.
I guess one argument is it's really big, and by the time it hits the ground, it's really small. They're saying it's falling
Yeah.
apart as it hits the ground.
Right. And they're like, it goes into the atmosphere, then it, hits that superheated layer and breaks in other pieces, and then just falls into smaller bits. And I'm like, you gotta. There's still a lot of questions as far as the globe model and the flat Earth model, but none of that supersedes the fact that there's no measurable curvature. So it is flat.
Right.
But as far as the other detail,
well, the other issue is gravity. All right. If you want to use gravity in this discussion, in support of the globe Earth model, how could a meteorite fall towards the Earth and not the sun?
Thank you.
Because the
That's what
sun's gravitational pull is much greater than the gravitational pull of the Earth. And then you got a gravitational pull with the moon too, right? So
they say. Yeah.
So none of the rocks can be coming from the moon because there's a gravitational pull on the moon, correct? So how can a rock leave the moon and come to the Earth? Is that possible? How can a rock gravitate off of the moon into outer space?
I'm
So
saying,
if there's rock in outer space floating around, what's moving it? Why is it not going to the strongest gravitational pull, which would be the sun?
exactly, and that's what I was saying. I'm like, yo, the sun it's supposed to be the great attractor in this whole place, man. We're all supposed to be orbiting around the sun, and the sun's got this awesome gravitational pull from 93 million miles away, keeping all of us, in orbit and all that. But at the same time, we got these little bitty rocks like the size of Texas flying, like hurling towards Earth, that aren't getting pulled off course and back into the sun. I'm like, what do you mean? It makes
if you want to be technical, why isn't our moon being pulled towards the sun?
Man, I've asked that question so many times. I'm like, so there are points where the moon's orbiting around the Earth, and then the moon's between the Earth and the sun. Like the next eclipse, the moon should be out of here, man, because it's supposedly between the Earth and the sun. So what the heck?
Exactly. The sun is what, 1,000 times larger than the Earth or something? I heard something like that.
They say like 400 times the size of the Earth, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So, but think about it. We got little or large meteorites that are breaking up in our atmosphere and hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the plane, the infinite plane type of concept. If outer space is nothing but stuff above an endless plane, right? it might make sense that some of it loses its force of whatever and it falls down to the infinite plane.
Yeah.
I mean, where else could it go? You know? So
Right.
if we talk about buoyancy and density, if there is something up there that has mass, somehow it would fall to the plane.
These are facts.
You know?
These are facts, man.
I mean,
I'm saying.
I don't know if it's facts, but I'm just trying to keep it as logical as possible. See, I believe that we can't create a model for the Earth because it's infinite. How can you make a model for something that's infinite, right? That's what I lean towards because I don't know otherwise, right? I know it's not curvature, and I know, and I don't think it's anything else. So why not make it infinite until we know better, right? So if it's infinite, you can't model it. How do you model something that's infinite?
Can't model infinite. That's why unless we're talking about the globe model, because you know I showed you. I did the video last week of the known universe, man. And you know they got out to a point to where they could see light from a younger universe, man. I mean, they mapped out all that stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
So
you know, then you got to ask the cosmic question.
Nah, man.
Then you got to ask the cosmic question: if the Earth is a globe, what is holding up the globe? There's a gravitational force up under the globe, or is the globe not being held up? Like, is it just floating? I mean, see, all the images that they give you of the globe is just floating in outer space, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But somehow, how can you float in outer space and still be on an axis? How is that possible?
Man.
Like, what's the base of the axis? Because don't you need a base for an axis? So they're saying it's tilted, and it's on an axis, and there's nothing under it.
Dude, I said that in one video. It was I believe Heliocentric Contradictions Part 2, maybe 3. But I was just sitting outside the van like, look, just saying the same stuff, man. Like, okay, so according to the globe model, there's gravity and we're on this globe and we're just out in infinite space because everything's being pulled towards the center of mass. Okay, fine. We're like, so you're upside down on a spinning ball. Well, actually, you're not upside down because it's all relative. Okay, cool. So there's no up or down in space. All right, got it. So if we're out in space, but they determine that we're at this 23.4 degree axis. How do you define that you know that angle if there's no base? Because I'm saying I even rounded. I was like, there's no base in space. So what are you talking about? What do you mean we're at 23.4 degrees? What? That doesn't make any sense. And then the Earth continues spinning at 23.4 degrees around the sun, but the sun's dragging the Earth around in this solar system and all that. But Polaris is always fixed over the North Star or over the North Pole. So that would mean that the sun is also traveling at a 23.4 degree angle, dragging the whole solar system at that angle ever towards Polaris because it's always right above the North Pole.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's a whole lot. there's a whole lot
of craziness. Yeah. And well, you know what I really would like to do? I would like to initiate a movement to stop calling this science because it's not science.
Right.
It has nothing to do with science. It is a complete abomination to the world because we have true science in this world.
Yep.
I mean, it's real simple. Me and you are communicating because of science.
Yeah.
You know, we have cell phones, we have cars, we have airplanes. All that stuff is tangible, real, applied sciences.
Mm-hmm.
We are letting people that make up stories trick us into believing that what they're saying is science. It's disrespect to the natural sciences. The natural sciences prove their claims. Theoretical scientists do not prove anything. They just make claims. They prove nothing. So, I mean, if you really think about it, when we leave this plane and we start looking in outer space, we are abandoning science. The furthest we go with science when we look up is aeronautics.
Right.
Aeronautics and maybe some weather, observations and stuff like that. Outside of those two things in the air, those are the only real sciences. Anything beyond that is not real. And that goes for cosmology, that goes for astronomy, that goes for astrophysics, none of it's real. None of it. And if you really think about it, all of it was created within the last 500 years. Now, when you talk about cosmology, that dates back even further. But cosmology is based on religion, religious beliefs of what you see up there. So the zodiac and all this other stuff, those are man-made concepts that are unproven. There is no Virgin Mary up in the sky. There is no Taurus the bull up in the sky. There is none of that. Those are just all ideas of man. And it's not science. But we have people arguing that it's science. But they can't prove that it's science. They just believe it.
I can dig it. And I'm saying just as far as all the astronomy goes, I was just thinking that they would. So look, they didn't have the distractions that modern day society has. They didn't have the TV, the iPhones and all the cameras and Facebook, all the sports and entertainment stuff. So what they did a lot of was observing nature, watching the stars. That's what a lot of people did at that point, because they didn't have the light pollution that we have in these cities, because the further away you get from the city, the better you can see the sky at night.
Right.
And you realize while you're out there that you don't really need any lights. If you're far enough away from the city lights, the moon and the stars are more than enough to let you see everything that's going on at night. Right. And they used to, I believe they used to watch the stars and kind of tell stories about the different constellations, just to keep it as like a kind of mnemonic device, you know what I mean, to just trigger your memories as far as where things are. So you got the belt, you can tell a story about this, you can tell a story about that, and they would tell these stories just to kind of map out all the stars. And that's kind of how they used to remember that stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. But it doesn't necessarily make any of it true. Right. They looked at they made up stories on what they see, right? And it's all good, and they told the stories over a fire, or whatever the case is, and it's cool. But the reality is no one was ever up there, right? I don't think anyone's ever been up there, but back then we know they weren't up there. They didn't even have airplanes or hot air balloons, right? So it's like they personified space. And that's where your zodiac comes from. Your zodiac comes from man looking up and personifying what he sees in the night sky.
Yeah.
He did not prove a doggone thing. He just personified it. You know what I mean? He made that looks like a man with a bucket pouring. Let's call that Aquarius. That looks like the Big Dipper. That looks like the Little Dipper. They made up stuff because they didn't know what it was. And guess what? 2018, we still don't know what it is. We still have people making up stories about what it is.
Yep.
They're claiming that they got the Hubble in deep space, flying around, taking pictures with this ultimate Wi-Fi and sending pictures back so we can see galaxies far, far away. We're doing the same stuff in 2018 that they did when they created the zodiac. It's identical. It's just a different era.
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying I talk about that. I talk about that a little bit sometimes too. I'm just like, you really think, okay, if we're doing all this spinning around out in space, we're flying at millions of miles per hour, just in this solar system, inside this area. So how far away is Hubble? How is Hubble able to beam these pictures, these high def, crystal clear pictures of all these little galaxies and planets and stars and black holes and all that stuff? How are they able to beam that crap back while there's all this movement going on?
Who's steering? Who's steering the Hubble?
Who's driving Hubble out in space, man? And why hasn't Hubble been pulled into some larger mass's gravitational pull and the planet? Because I know. I'm just saying. You know, you get stuff out there, you're like, wait, where's the old Hubble at, man? It's way the heck out there, but it should have slammed into another planet because of gravity by now, right?
Oh no, it avoids gravity. It drives around, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
and wait.
It is such a lie, man.
Like, what kind of boosters do they have on this thing? How do they continuously?
Boosters gotta push against something. It's not pushing against nothing. It's a vacuum.
So how is it going anywhere? So how's it going anywhere? It hasn't run out of gas or compressed air or what? Come on, man.
Driving the Hubble.
Like, they put this thing out there. Like, what year did they put this thing out in space? How do they upgrade the firmware on Hubble? You know what I'm saying? How do they upgrade the camera? Because I'll bet my little iPhone right here has a better camera than Hubble at this point, because they put it up there so long ago. What kind of technology do they? Never mind.
No, what they do is they beam it up like Star Trek. They beam it to the Hubble. You know what I mean? You know, they can beam things up. You know,
right.
That's what they do.
Facts.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy what we believe. But think about it. Throughout human history, man has been accepting the ideas of our world blindly.
Yep.
Throughout human history, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, just think about it. It's like they don't know, so they make stuff up, and then the majority of the people start believing. Yep. That's just how it is. Yeah. I'm telling you, NASA is the new version of cosmology, in my opinion. It's the new version. You know, I see no difference in any of this stuff. I mean, think about it. We know more about outer space than we do the bottom of the ocean.
Speak on it.
The bottom of the ocean is still a mystery to us, but outer space is not.
Oh, yeah. We got space figured out. We already mapped out millions of light years, and hey, we went out like, you know, billions of years, man. We mapped this stuff out so smooth. Don't even worry about space. We got that on lock, son. But the ocean, don't worry about that. Don't worry about the ocean. Don't worry about the ocean. It's too much pressure.
It's too much pressure to go down there, you know?
Yeah.
The submarines will turn into tin cans if they go down too far. You know what I mean? They don't even know what's at the bottom of the deepest ocean to this day. But they know they know what's 100 million miles away. They know what light years are. They know all that, but they don't know the bottom of the ocean.
And the consistency of these things. You look. My favorite stuff is seeing on NASA's website where they'll have a planet, and then they got like the little wedge section cut out, and they're showing you the core of these planets millions of miles away. Like, how do you know what's inside the core? You don't even know what's in the core of the Earth. But you're telling me that some way or another y'all figured out what's in the core of freaking Jupiter? Get out of here, man.
Liars, man.
Come on.
Religious
and
zealots.
They believe it. And they believe it.
They are religious zealots. Religious zealots that sell their ideas as scientific proof truths in their lives. We don't know what's at the core of our Earth. We can't possibly know what's at the core of any other place if there is other places.
Yeah.
But they tell the stories that as if they do know. Theoretical science, cosmology, astronomy, astrophysics, all that stuff are all religious zealots. And that's why they won't tolerate anyone questioning them. And they want you to believe you're not smart enough to know what they know. Because if it was true, it would be obvious. Nothing they say is truthful, and nothing what they say is obvious, but they believe it. As you said, but they believe it.
True story, and that's ridiculous.
That's simple.
All right, hold up. Let me say a shout out to China, Mrs. Jones. Said, and they believe it. Thanks for all you do. Stay flat. Will do. Thank you very much. Sure appreciate you, man. Look. Do we want to go to a serious topic, or do we want to have a laugh? I think
this is up to you, bro. All of it's a laugh to me.
Let's have let's have a laugh at this one. Okay, so Biggie, you heard you heard the idea. Have you heard about the concept of moons having their own moons?
Nah, bro, I haven't heard that. Wow.
Biggie?
Are you joking?
I'm not joking, and the official term is, wait for it, moons. Okay. So let's get to the story.
Not a moon. Hey,
moon.
Yo, moon.
Yo, watch this.
We're big moon.
Okay. So on newscientist.com, okay, this was from October 10th. Moons can have moons, and they are called moons. Okay. Moons.
Yo, man, you better watch out for the moons. They're gonna come get you.
Okay, yo, hold on, man.
Moon? Yo, you see moon?
All right, wait. Hold up. All right, stars are orbited by planets, which are orbited by moons. But what comes next? More moons, according to a new analysis. Juna Kohlmeyer at Carnegie Observatories in Pasadena, California, and Sean Raymond at the University of Bordeaux, France, calculated whether a moon orbiting a planet could have a moon of its own. A moon of a moon has no formal name, perhaps because we have never spotted one, but both submoon and moon have been suggested.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. You're wrong. You need to stop reading that fake news, man. That you ain't got no official news report saying that. Stop lying, man.
Bro, moon.
Lying, you be lying, dude.
Bro, they out here making stuff up, dude.
Yo, D, can I ask you something? Did you see that girl with that fat moon? She sure got a fat moon.
Oh yeah, man. I'm telling you. That's the kind of moon makes a grown man cry. Yeah,
oh
man.
Oh my God, I gotta get a girl with a nice moon.
I'm telling you, man. But yeah, yo, I saw that the other day. Somebody sent that to me. I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me, man. Moons? Really? That's what we going with now? God dang. So look, that goes back into that whole situation where we're like, why would a moon have a moon orbiting around it when a moon is already orbiting around a mass that has a stronger gravitational pull than that moon? Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, why doesn't the the larger body, that planet's gravitational pull away the moon from the moon? and have the moons and have the moon slam into that planet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if you got a moon, doesn't that make the moon a planet? So the moon makes the moon a planet, right? Because a planet, right? What's the difference? I mean, the difference between a moon and a planet is that the moon is a satellite going around the planet. But if the thing going around the planet got something going around it, that makes it a planet too, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I mean, it stands to reason.
The real question is, does the moon have a moon?
You blow my mind. You blow my mind, vegan. You blow my mind. Like Inception out here. It's a moon. Like what?
A moon and a moon.
Like the moon has a moon of its own. What you know about that, son? Like what? Oh my God.
Yeah, they playing games with us, man. They playing games.
I had to laugh at it, man. I was dying. I was like, yep, I'm covering that on the show. We're gonna have a good laugh about that one.
The moon,
huh?
Yeah, I gotta get a t-shirt, the moon.
Yeah, man. That's what it is. And they're like, we haven't seen one yet, but our calculations, like, you think NASA would have been able to spot one of these moons by now with the Hubble that's way out there sending back all these, you know, or one of the other thousands of satellites out there sending these pictures back. And, you know.
Yeah, the moon.
Yeah, man. You know, look, I'm trying to get a piece of moon rock. Oh, just in time for First Man. Just in time for the First Man release, man.
The moon. Yeah,
that's what it is. That might be the last thing I say before I go to sleep tonight, just to have a laugh before I pass out. Oh my God,
that's funny.
Yes, sir. Freaking moon. That's what it is. All right, so yeah, let's talk a little bit about this situation with the Soyuz failure. Okay, because apparently there was a launch earlier this week. So, all right, according to Gizmodo, after Soyuz failure, space is now weirdly inaccessible to astronauts, as if it wasn't weirdly accessible before. But sounds like they're just trying to set something up. So okay.
Nah, it's because of the moon.
Yeah, man. I'm saying those freaking moons are always causing problems, man. I mean, we just figured them out, but we've been having issues with them for a while.
The moon is stopping the astronauts from going to the moon.
Yeah, we gotta come back to that one, man. Oh, good Lord, I gotta write that down. All right, so all crewed launches have been suspended by Russia's space agency following yesterday's Soyuz rocket failure. That's a problem because much of the world relies on Russian rockets to get both cargo and people into space.
Really?
Consequently, we're now facing the very real possibility of having an uncrewed international space station.
Wow.
Something that hasn't happened in nearly 2 decades.
Wow.
Early yesterday, a Soyuz FG booster rocket with a crewed Soyuz MS-10 spacecraft on top experienced a serious malfunction about 3 minutes into flight, forcing U.S. astronaut Nick Hague and Russian cosmonaut Alexei Ovchinin, okay, close enough, to make an emergency landing in the Kazakh steppe. Both are reported to be in good condition, but the same cannot be said for the rocket, which crashed about 25 miles from the city of Zhezkazgan in Karaganda region of Kazakhstan. All right, in its first incident of its kind, it's the first incident of its kind for Roscosmos, the Russian space agency, since the fall of the Soviet Union. In response, Russian officials have suspended all crewed launches pending what was that? Review of the booster rocket failure. A criminal probe is also underway to determine its safety regulations were violated. To determine if its safety regulations were violated during construction. What? To that end, a Russian government investigation committee is inspecting the launch site and seizing documents, according to the reports. Okay, so yeah, we got a criminal probe going just in case. We want to make sure that the rocket was built to the proper dimensions and specifications. So, you know, there's going to be a criminal probe just to make sure.
They're going to need that Trump NASA space police force, you know?
Oh, look at that. Don't they look cozy? They're all safe and sound back here. That's great.
Yeah.
Oy. Yeah, man. So, yeah, looking like they're grounded. What does that mean for future missions? Does that mean they're just gonna suspend trying to go back to space anytime?
Oh yeah. They got to work out the glitches, and they probably won't go back to 2030 or 40 when we're all old and we don't know no better.
Yeah, they gotta get rid of us.
Yeah.
They gotta make sure that we're nice and quiet by the time they try to ramp up this space stuff. We're gonna be calling them out like the whole, like every step of the way. We're like, nah, man.
But you know what? I talked to an older guy. I talked to an older guy. He's 78. And whenever I get around older people, I always ask the question, did you believe we actually went to the moon? I mean, if somebody's 75, 80 years old, I always ask them because they were adults when it happened, right?
Yeah.
I said, do you really believe we went to the moon? And I'm gonna tell you, I'm doing a running tally. I think I've talked to about maybe 15 different people in that age bracket. Out of the 15, at least 9 said no, we never went to the moon.
See?
No one, like people that were old enough, a lot of them didn't believe they actually did it. They give us the impression that everybody believed them, when really there was a strong minority of people that never believed the moonwalk. None of them. Yep.
Yeah. That was there was that guy that let me see, in that book, Bill Clinton wrote a book, and there was the part where he talked to the guy about the moon missions, where the guy said that he didn't really believe it, and you know, at one point, you know, Bill Clinton wrote that, you know, that man may have very well been ahead of his time. So makes sense, man. You know.
Yeah.
I'm saying. Well, hold here. What's going on?
Whole lot of BS.
All right, let me see what's going on in the chat. What's up, C Oddity? What's good? You and Zane, y'all good over there? Cut that out. All right, I see Chris Jones in the house. What's up with you? Mark Sargent's here. What's up, man? Brian Jepson, Angie Payne, El Kisium, Troll Slayer. Wait, noob with a doob? What? All right, Reynaldo Ortiz, Serrata Xfinity, or Serrata Infinity X. What's going on? EM, what's up, man? Okay. Yeah, man. So, MJ Givens, what's up, girl? How you doing? Yeah, man. So cool. That's what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I just compare our times now to them in the past. In the past, there was a lot of blind acceptance and a lot of embracing national ideas or tribal ideas or national or type ideas without any evidence. We're still doing that. The difference is we're outsourcing our intelligence to embrace claims of theoretical science. That's what we're doing. We're doing identical to what they've done in the past. The only difference is they didn't have the degrees and the PhDs and all this other stuff. What they had back then were holy men. spiritual men that said, this is what the sky is, and this is what's in the sky, and this and that, and this is the zodiac, and so forth and so on. And they believe them. We're doing the same thing with these theoretical scientists, the same identical form. There has been no progression when it comes to outer space. And I'm telling you,
and
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm saying I was just gonna chime in, and the evolution of that whole situation, pun intended with the evolution, but they kind of switched from the robes of the priests and these philosophers used to wear these robes and all that,
Right.
to preach the gospel, and they traded that in for a lab coat, and that's pretty much the same thing, you know.
Exactly.
That's the robe of their scientism priests to you know, push the agenda, man. So
and I still argue one of the most greatest things that mankind has ever created was the scientific method. The scientific method is our closest way for us to know what's true, right?
Yep.
To really go down that path of trying to discover something, you must use the scientific method. They have openly admitted to abandoning the scientific method when it comes to theoretical science. Black holes, no scientific method.
Nope.
Wormholes, no scientific method. The Hubble Space Telescope, no scientific method. The ISS, no scientific method. Moon missions, no scientific method. Whenever you talk about anything that we're doing in quote unquote outer space, it is absent the scientific method. When everything in reality that science creates must comply to the scientific method. You cannot have a skyscraper built without the scientific method. You cannot have a car designed and actually ready for people to use without the scientific method. You can't have a cell phone without a scientific method. You can't have a computer. You can't have nothing that is real, usable, and tangible without the scientific method. But you can have outer space without the scientific method.
Oh yeah.
That's the difference. Almost everything they talk about up there lacks scientific method claims. You know?
Exactly.
And I think that's the smoking gun. You know, I want scientists to explain to me why they don't apply the scientific method to their claims of outer space in any way. And you know, I've done a few videos on it. It's basically they're claiming there's a better way, and that's the peer review kind of process that they have, which, you know, can be whatever it is if you manipulate it.
Right, and it's just you know, a matter of a story that's agreed upon by a large group of people, and if they're all peers and they all know the secret handshakes and took the oaths behind the scenes, then yeah, they're going to go ahead and agree on this, and yeah, we reviewed it amongst our peers.
Right.
Yeah, what,
Well,
like after the ritual?
Well, it kind of goes deeper than that. The reason why I say this is because everyone can be in on the scam, right? The scam is created by a controlling body, and those who are not involved with the scam just believe it. Like right now, if you were a 17, 18-year-old kid and you were majoring in science, right? Everything in that book you have to believe to move further in that industry. You have to believe it, right? So then you graduate, you get your BA degree, and you go straight for your master's degree. And you're still in that study of science. You have to believe everything that you're learning for you to progress. You get out of that, you become a PhD. Guess what? You had to believe everything that led all the way up to that. Because when you go against the established science, you're never going to progress in that industry. So the free thought is gone. They give you the idea that we've done all the thinking. We've already proven these claims. Just accept them.
Yeah.
So I think the most deceived individuals are people that are actually in the industry. I don't think people in the industry are liars and deceivers and cheats and like what we call them, I think they're just all part of a cult following of accepted information that they don't know to be true. And that's why they don't challenge it. And if they do challenge it, they're kicked out.
Yep.
They're blackballed. They're whatever. So they can't challenge it, or all that study will be wasted because they're going to be blackballed. If they don't challenge it, they must embrace it and believe every word of it.
Absolutely.
So they're more deceived than we are. They have more vested. We have nothing vested in fake science. But
exactly.
If you have a degree in it, you have everything vested in it. If you're a scientist, if you're a scientist, you will get no funding without accepting and embracing scientific claims.
Yeah.
They're the most deceived. We're not the most deceived. They are. Because they're accepting it wholeheartedly on the surface of what they study. All right, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go on that rant.
Oh, no.
Actually, I didn't. I just did.
oh, no, it's fine. Hey, do your thing. So yeah, that's the thing. It's like they gotta get in line. They gotta be lockstep with the whole situation. And
right.
You know, like you said, they're vested in the system. Like, so if they progress so far into it, you know, they become they get their bachelor's, they get their master's, then they go on to start teaching the stuff that they were taught.
Right.
And along the way, they might very well find out that it was a lie. They might very well find out that it was wrong. But they have to continue playing the game because how am I going to feed my family? You know, this is what I do.
I don't think so. I think it's cognitive dissonance. I think they just ignore the anomalies, the contradictions. They ignore the contradictions and they ignore the anomalies, but wholeheartedly they still embrace it and believe it.
Yeah. Some of them do. Some of them do.
I think the majority of them do.
Yeah.
I really do.
I believe you. The vast majority, I'm sure. There are some exceptions. Like, for example, pilots. You know, there are pilots that have figured out, you know what? I'm pretty sure we're flying over a flat plane. Like, they had a moment of clarity at some point while they're flying, and they're like, wait a minute. I'm seeing freaking New Mexico from here, but that's supposed to be like 300, 500 miles away. I'm able to see it here. What about the curvature? Isn't it? Wait a minute.
Right.
Then they look down at the artificial horizon, the attitude indicator and all that, and notice that the gyroscope is, I mean, they have to fly that thing level. So they're like, wait a minute. You know, it's like they can figure it out. And some pilots, they're just doing their job with the assumption that the Earth is a globe, and they don't even think about it. And they can fly for years and not even think about it. I've had, you know, a few exchanges with a couple of pilots. There's one guy I used to go to church with, pilot. Right. And I chat with him, and he's like, we can agree to disagree. I'm like, dude, you're up there. You see it. What are you talking about? I'm like, just look. Just look, man. Are you dipping the nose down? Do you see any curvature? Right. Oh, it's definitely a globe. I'm like, okay, man. So, you know, it's like some people figure it out. Some people hold on to it. So, you know, there's exceptions to the rules, man. It's just a matter of where somebody's at, the influences, and whether or not, you know, the X factor is like is it your time to wake up? Because there's people like who are fighting flat Earth today, who tomorrow might wake up and, you know, stumble down a rabbit hole, and, you know, by Sunday afternoon they're like, man, I think the Earth is flat. You know what I'm saying? It's like people can, you know.
You know what I'm trying to understand? I'm trying to understand what it means when they say it's perspective. What does that mean, right? So if we try to mock up the Earth in something on a ball that's spinning, and we try to mock it up and create a model, a working scientific model that reflects their scientific claims, it's impossible. It's 100% impossible. You can't create a model of what they claim. An axis leaning, spinning, and something on the axis that will not experience curvature.
Yeah.
I mean, on the globe that won't experience curvature. You can't replicate their theory. So if you can't replicate it, that means no one's witnessed it. If no one's witnessed it, why are we believing it? It's a lie.
Man, so look here. Let me show you another thing about that whole axis situation. Let me see if I can even do this. Hold up. Let me get this thing here. Boom. Okay. So more stuff about this axis tilt. Okay. So here's Earth. All right. This is showing you the tilt. So we're at 23.4 degrees. And this is the sun hitting hitting this side of the globe. Hold on. Boom. Let me turn that off. All right. So yeah, this is the sun hitting this side of the globe. Now, this doesn't make sense in actuality because we still have the axis tilt. We got the Earth spinning this way, right? Because it's tilted and the sun's hitting it parallel. But here's the thing. The equator is the equator is here. The equator is here, getting the most sun as if the sun's like hitting it at 23.4 degrees. I mean, and it shows up. So how is it that we're not experiencing heat? I don't know, at these different, you know what I mean? It's like the heat should light up different areas of the Earth to a degree to where it just doesn't make sense as far as that whole equator thing, because the equator is still at 23.4 degrees also, you know. But it works better on a flat Earth because I mean it just shows the sun going in a circle like that, generally above the equator. So I mean it's man.
Well, you gotta do something else with when you that little thought experiment you just put right there.
Yeah.
You have to move your sun back 93 million miles.
There is that.
Right? So that globe is literally this big. so if you pick up, you got something really small that you can pick up and then pick up that light.
Yeah.
And then you gotta have it to scale where something can have the impact that the sun has on our plane from 93 million miles away. First of all, mankind cannot comprehend 93 million miles. We can say the words 93 million miles.
Yep.
And the way I can prove this to people, if you're listening, is one, based on the globe Earth model, one revolution around the entire planet, right, based on the globe Earth model, is 24,000 miles. Roughly, 25, roughly, right? So one revolution is 24K. That's how they claim you get day and night, right?
Yep.
Imagine walking around the entire planet and coming back to the point where you started.
All right.
Okay. Now, that's 24,000 miles. Now visualize 93 million miles. It's not comprehensible. We have nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
We can't imagine even walking one revolution around this so-called globe, right? So we can't comprehend that much. How can you possibly comprehend the distances of 93 million miles away? We can say 93 million, but experiencing 93 million miles is above anything that we could ever imagine.
Right.
I can't even imagine traveling around the Earth, for 24,000 miles. Maybe I could. Maybe I could imagine that because I've traveled 6,000 miles. And I just times that by 4. Yeah, I can imagine that. I can't imagine doing that a million times.
No, man. No. And let me see how many times a million. Never mind.
Well, can you imagine our Earth 400 times larger?
No.
I can't either. Can you imagine it 2 times larger?
Nope.
I can't either.
I got
For
nothing.
me to imagine that our Earth is two times larger or 400 times larger, I would have had to have experienced all of the Earth,
Exactly.
right? So if I experienced all of the Earth, maybe I can imagine 2 times or 5 times or 10 times, but 400 times. Why do they always give us stuff that we can't comprehend as truth? You can't comprehend 93 million miles. You can't comprehend the plane being 400 times larger or the globe 400 times larger. They give us
Mm-hmm.
stuff that's nonsensical,
Yeah.
nonsensical, not of the five senses. That's what nonsense means. When someone says you're talking nonsense, what they're really saying is you're not applying your five senses.
Yep.
And theoretical science is 100% nonsense. They are telling you so-called truths with the absence of the five senses.
Always.
Nonsense.
Always. And
Exactly.
yeah, man, that's what I was saying. You know, they need the millions and billions. They need the
Right.
millions and billions, man. And that's that because people can't comprehend that. People can't think of. They say it, can't imagine it, can't
Right.
picture it, and we talk about how it can't be drawn to scale. Well,
That's
of
a
course it
very
can't
good
be drawn.
point.
93 million miles away. I'm like, so how does it make sense?
Right.
So many
You are so right.
ideas.
You just hit a very, very good point. They need millions and billions and trillions. They need those
Yeah,
numbers because human beings can't comprehend those numbers. We can comprehend thousands. We can
yeah,
comprehend hundreds, but we can't comprehend millions, billions, and trillions.
not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like the thing is, like you said, they can't comprehend it, so they throw these things out and do what we end up doing, man. It's like we'll just hear those numbers and we're like, smart people figured it out. I don't have time for it. I
Right.
still got I still got to go to work tomorrow, so it doesn't really make any difference to me. I mean,
Right.
that's where this stuff comes up to. It's like people don't have the time to sit down and comprehend or sit down and even contemplate this stuff. Like, let me see now,
Right.
93 million miles away. Does that? So wait a minute. Okay, so the light from the sun can reach the Earth from 93 million miles away, and then the heat. So special kind of radiation doesn't interact with space, but it does interact with the Earth's atmosphere, keeping the Earth warm in certain places, according to the globe. But 1,000 miles north or south of the equator, it's like freezing temperatures right around the equator. It's like tropical. But if the heat or if that special radiation from the sun were reaching the Earth's surface from 93 million miles away, the temperature variations from wherever you are on the globe, it would be imperceptible because the radiation traveled 93 million miles away. So what do you mean it's like 85 degrees in near the equator all year round, but then it's
Right.
like negative 12 in Alaska, and
Right.
it doesn't make any sense.
Well,
That,
here's another one you can add to that. If the radiation and the light coming from the sun is that powerful, where it comes across the universe for 93 million miles, everything that's in its path should be destroyed.
I said that.
It should be
I've said that.
destroyed. There should be a streamline straight to the sun, and everything in between should be destroyed by the sun. Because as it comes off of the sun, it should be so powerful that it reaches 93 million miles away.
Yeah,
So there should be a highway to the sun.
yeah,
It should be a highway with nothing crossing its path, because the closer it gets to us, the weaker it gets. And that's why we can live pretty much okay off the energy of the sun.
right. And I'm like, okay, look, What they tell us is that we're in the Goldilocks zone. This is a thing, you know, not too hot, not too hot, because we're not close enough to the sun. So we're in this perfect spot to where we're not burning it. But if we were any further away from the sun, this would be like an ice planet. So you're basically saying that everything between the sun and the earth should be on fire.
Well, we got a problem. We're the third planet. We got 2 other planets closer. So how far is Mars from the Earth?
Man.
How far is Venus?
We can look it up.
So look it up. My point is they're much closer to the sun.
Yes.
How are they surviving? How you see what I'm saying? If they're just made of rock like we are.
Oh, but also we're gonna colonize Mars at some point. It's a lot closer to the sun, and it's not in the Goldilocks zone. But yeah, we're looking to colonize Mars in the future.
And it's closer to the sun.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Oh no, they put a rover on Mars.
So
it was able to endure the sun. So we can make equipment that can get millions of miles closer to the sun that will endure.
Facts.
Would you say facts? What can we make on this plane that can move millions of miles closer to the sun? Because if I'm correct, isn't Mars like 10 million miles in the direction of the sun?
Here, let me consult.
Something like that.
Here, let's check.
I think it's 10 or 20 million miles. No, I think it's less than that. I can't remember.
Let's do some live time investigating real quick. Let me see. Distance to Mars.
GM CDXS said 33.9 million. How ironic, 33, huh? Those damn nations.
Yeah, let me see. Yep. 33.9 million miles. Okay.
3339, huh? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There it is.
3 times 3 equals 9.
Oh,
okay. So what about the first planet? Venus.
Venus. Distance to Venus. Distance to Venus is 162 million miles away. What?
How's that possible?
Yeah.
Oh,
wait a minute.
It's not the first planet. What?
It's yeah. What is it? Is that Mercury? 48 million miles away?
Right.
Is that the one?
Hold up. I'm having a Mandela effect here.
What's going on?
What is the first planet closest to the sun?
Let me see. All right, I remember the acronym or the mnemonic device from Saved by the Bell from Screech. He said Mavimsnup. It's Mars, Venus, Earth.
Okay, so Mars is first. So
Mercury,
we skipped Venus and we went straight to Mars.
Yeah. So here, let's check the solar system out real quick.
I didn't wipe this so far out of my mind, I forgot.
I know, right? Like, hold on. Let's check. Yeah, so it's Mercury, Venus, Earth. Yeah, so you were right. Okay,
but how far did they say Mercury was away from? That number didn't seem right.
Yeah.
If it's closer to the sun, it should be smaller than our 93 million.
That's true. Distance to Mercury. Wait a minute. We might be on to something real time. Hold on. Let me go back. Distance to Mercury, 48 million miles away. Okay.
So that's us to them. That's from us to Mercury.
Yeah. And then there was distance from Earth to Venus. And that, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. What do you mean 162 million miles? Huh? Biggin, I think we have a problem.
Yeah, there's an issue here.
Yeah, I feel like we got a problem with
If
this.
it don't fit, you must have quit.
Wait, yeah. What the heck is that about? What's that about, man? If the sun's only 93 million miles away, as it says here, 92.96 million miles away, the moon's 238, but Venus is 162. That would mean that Venus is further away from us than the sun, but according to, hold on, man.
So we're not the third planet no more. Mandela effect. Mandela effect.
Houston, we have a problem. We have a flipping problem here. Man, look, we about to get locked up. Somebody gonna come get us, man. Hold on.
Did we just get booted out? Testing, testing.
All right, I'm back. What's I'm back, man. What they got vegan again? Hold on, let me send them a link. Let me send the link. I don't know if this is even the same stream, man. What the heck's going on around here? Yeah, send the invite. What happened? Doesn't that always happen? Don't they always shut us down when we get to something? Isn't that crazy? What the heck is that about? Did we just figure something out, folks? Did we just figure something out? Uh-oh. See? Police sitting across the thing, man. NASA shutting me down. It's crazy out here. All right, yeah, hold up. All right, folks. So yeah, I'm gonna give my brother Carlos on here. Hold on. Let me see. Your email. I'm gonna get my man Carlos Pagero on here real quick, and yeah, we're gonna have a chat with him. Vegan, you see how that happened, man?
We're in the middle of that. They said, "Oh hell no!" They exposed this stuff. No,
Right.
but seriously, what the order is? What Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, right?
Yes.
So Mercury, Venus, Earth. Yeah, because Venus is our men are from what's the saying? Women are from Venus and men are from Mars or something.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, man. Something's wrong here.
Mercury is. Well, maybe we're reading it wrong. Mercury is. What's the distance from Earth to Mercury?
All right. Let me try this again. Okay. So distance to Mercury. Oh man. We're about to get in trouble. All right. Distance to Mercury is 48 million miles, they say.
To Mercury. Okay. So then what's the distance from the sun to Mercury?
Let me see. Distance from sun to Mercury.
Yeah.
Distance sun to Mercury. 35 million.
That don't sound right either.
Oh no! Oh man!
Hold up, 48. It was 48 and 35.
Let me see. I know they're telling us that Venus is flipping 162 million miles away. The sun's 93 million miles away, but the Earth is closest to Venus according to the solar system. But man, come on, man, something went wrong. And then it's saying the distance from the sun to Mercury is 35 million, and then the distance to Mercury from Earth is 48 million, is what they're saying. But
nah,
oh my God,
right. Somebody got that wrong. I'm telling you, it's a Mandela effect. We used to be the third planet, now we're the second.
Yeah, something went terribly wrong, yo. Something went terribly wrong. I gotta.
Yo, you see how small they depicted Mercury?
Dude,
Like, wow.
that's crazy. Oh man. So.
Yeah. Are they saying that we're getting pulled closer and closer to the sun, and Mercury is gone, and now it's just Venus and us? Is that what they're saying?
I'm saying that Mercury is who was that way out there? What was that? Yeah, that was Venus. Venus is way out there, way past the sun, and it's I got nothing. I got nothing, man. I'm stuck out here. I'm stuck out here. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I'm gonna get my man Carlos on here so he can chat with us too, because this is ridiculous. Maybe he's got something, because I'm like, what?
Well, you got to see what NASA say, because they're the authority. They're going to tell you how it is. You know.
Yeah.
They got to
say maybe. All right, yeah. So I just sent Carlos the link. All right, Carlos, you got it, man. Oh shoot, Vegan.
Yeah.
Yo, you still there? Yo, I just got another presidential alert.
Really?
Real talk. Did everybody else just get another presidential alert?
Nah, they just want you this time.
Oh man, I'm tripping. Yo, check it. Yeah, it's another. I just got another presidential alert, man. Right here.
Oh, he wants you. In my pictures on it.
Bro, yeah. No. I'm saying I'm chatting with you. I'm chatting with you on trying, just in case the chat goes down. I'm still watching.
Down, man. They trying to know exactly where we are.
Man, just got another presidential shutting down the feed because we getting on the stuff. Yo, did anybody else get an alert? Anybody out here? Is it just me?
Let me see.
Oh my God! Hey, somebody help! Somebody help! Oh no! I'm hearing sirens out here, man. Look! Oh my God! Bro,
they want to scare us, but they can't.
Man, look, I'm sitting here. Yo, did you delete it? No, I didn't delete it. Oh man, yo,
save that. It
was a warning alert. Oh my God, they're trying to distract you. Oh man, look, I'm looking at the chat. Nobody else got a president. It's just me out here getting presidential alerts while we out here exposing that lies, man. Hey, y'all pray for me out here, man. For real, dude. That is nerve-wracking. Just a little bit. Oh Lord. Man. What's up, Carlos?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, we just out here exposing NASA, coming out here. What's happening?
Dude, so I get this morning, I wake up when I got about 100 notifications on one of my videos. I'm like, what the hell is this? Obviously, a bunch of trolls. Some dude made a video about me trying to debunk me. So I was like, what the? Oh. And the dude has a big channel. He has like 70,000+ subscribers.
Oh, God.
And it's like a video I did, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago or something like that. And dude, I was just like, what is going on? The whole day, notification, ding, ding, you're an idiot. You should drink bleach, die, you moron, this and that. You know what he's talking about? So I was like, man, this is an easy video to debunk him again. So I just had to do it real quick. And then I was like, oh, snap, he's on. So I just finished it. It'll be up late. I was going to post it now, but I was like, you know what? I'll just save it for tomorrow morning.
No, that's what's up.
Yeah, man, it's been crazy.
Kill him softly.
Yeah, hey, welcome to the party, man. You're not making moves unless people are making debunk videos about you, man.
I know, that's what shocked me. I was like seriously, like my channel barely gets traction. All right, so obviously this struck a nerve with somebody that they were like, oh, hold on, we gotta shut this video down for anybody. If you look at it, man, it's got like 150 thumbs down and like 30 thumbs up. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the traction, buddy. Right. All you did was bring more exposure.
There you go. Look, they might have went to my my backup channel because I just put up that interview that you and I did around this time last year. So I don't know. They might have been like, oh, he's cool with D Marble. Let's go check out this Carlos Pagero guy. So we're gonna hate on him some. Don't worry about these trolls out here, man. They're just wasting time.
It was an easy video to like. I had fun making it, man. I was putting Homer memes in it and everything. Like this guy. You know, the video was about how easy it is to debunk the globe pictures because every picture is missing key component, and that's satellites. You know, they take these pictures from like a million miles away and you see not a single satellite in the sky, right? Obviously, you don't see stars either. And it's like, so that's the easiest way to debunk it. If there's some so-called satellites orbiting the Earth, you should not be able to see the Earth half the time because it should look like a bunch of like gnats all around it at all times because we have all these satellites, they say. You know, I believe in satellites, but they're not in orbit. They're in, you know, they're weather balloons. Everybody who's done the research knows this stuff at this point. But come on, man. I was like, so I guess that hit a nerve with somebody. And they were like,
definitely, man. Hey, watch out. You're going to be out here getting a presidential alert, too. You know what I'm saying?
I got two of those when they first did it that day. That crap, I got two of those notifications. I was like, what the hell? All right, man, straight to delete.
Yeah, man. I'm saying I don't know what's going on with that. Yo, let me see. I was about to ask you. Yo, you gonna make it to the conference? Oh, wait. Here, let me shout out real quick. Folks, if you're not subscribed to Carlos Pagero, his channel name is Carlos Pagero, P-E-G-U-E-R-O. Go ahead and get subscribed over there if you haven't already. Be sure to subscribe to Vegan Warrior. I don't care how much truth you can handle. You get over there. Subscribe to Vegan Warrior.
Leave Vegan Warrior alone. He gonna get you in trouble. He gonna have you going down deep.
By the way, what's up, what it is, man? I know we never spoke, so I just want to say what's up, man.
Oh, what's good, Carlos? How you doing, brother?
I'm good.
Yo, I'm like jealous of your setup, your background, man. It's official.
Yo, look,
what's that? A 4K camera you got?
Man, Carlos is a tech guru, dude. He makes he used to make videos with all kinds of like little gadgets and whatnot. He'll be like, all right, so here's how I'm gonna hook this up. Have your screen looking real. He's my tech guy behind the scenes. I mean, we don't talk much because I'm still low tech over here. Yeah. Because if I had taken all of Carlos's advice, my setup would be like his. You know what I'm saying? He's looking all official over there, man. It looks like he's got a green screen, but it looks like crisp. Yeah. He's always sound right, guys. Audio, video. So if you want to know how to improve your your content quality, to make the really good first impression, check out Carlos. He's my tech guy, man. He's real savvy on this stuff. And I saw your interview, or I listened to your interview with the guy in Seattle yesterday.
Chad Taylor.
Yeah.
That's the first interview somebody hit me up. Usually I'm hitting somebody else up, like, yo, let's do an interview. He hit me up. I was like, man, I want to do an interview with you, man. I was like, all right, let's do it. It was fun, man. It was different being on the other side.
All right, so look here, give us a little bit of insight as far as the setup, man, because Vegan was about to get into that and I rudely jumped in. My bad, bro.
Oh no, no, no! I was just giving him a compliment. He looks official. You know, his face ain't all dark like mine is right now. You know what I mean? I'm jealous of the brother, but
Look,
I
look. All
wanted
right,
to comment.
I'll literally show you what it looks like. So the key is a lot of light.
Right,
Right. So I
right.
have two monitors. There's Vegan right there. There's my mixer. I
Not
have.
hate.
I mean, the camera I'm using is pretty expensive, which is funny because a lot of people, when they try to like debunk me, they'll be like, "Man, maybe you should take a course in like photography or videography because you don't really know what you're talking about." I'm like, dude, if you don't know how many cameras I have, like I know plenty about cameras. Like I'm the
And
wrong guy
lighting.
to say that to. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
um,
and lighting. Right,
yeah. So that's really the key when it comes to like, especially like webcams or like what you're using. If you
right,
can get enough light, it helps out because they're so small sensors, you
right,
know. So
right.
that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, like in my room I'm in right now, I'm in my office and all the lights above me. That's why you got to shine on top of my head. But I don't have no light coming this way, so my face is dark here. It's crazy.
All you
Yeah.
know, there's like a little trick you could do is you can get like something to reflect the light that's coming down and put it
Oh
right
yeah.
and it'll bounce it and it'll just
Right.
start, create, give you a little bit more detail in the face and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
So
Well,
there's little stuff
I was
like
gonna
that.
say something about your satellites. Isn't it amazing, guys, that we never see a satellite launch, break away from the rocket, and then kind of just start doing his own thing? We never see that. Why is
Yeah,
that?
because they can't do it. They can't do it. You know what I mean? That's why what the rocket takes off, it arcs, right? And then it goes into cartoon mode. It's
Right.
just like, I mean, how many time lapse do people have to see where it literally arcs and disappears? Like if the thing just exploded into nothingness. I mean, it's like people, I mean, it's like what you always say. It's the common sense stuff that they just don't understand that,
Right.
they look at us like we got a second grade education, but it's like, dude, my second grade education, what'd you get? You know what I'm saying? What'd you end up with?
Right, man. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Shoot, man. So. I mean, what was your thoughts about that moon? were you around for that one, man?
The moon?
Moon. So there's now scientists claiming that by certain calculations, it stands to reason that these planets way out in the distance, they have moons, but there's also the aspect of those moons having their own moons, which they're wrestling with a name. We're trying to figure out whether we're going to call it a sub moon or a moon. They're leaning towards moon. So,
See, dude, you ever look at your phone and just like go into Google real quick, and all of a sudden there's like a bunch of space propaganda just being fed to us? That's what it sounds like. Those stories. I look on my phone half the time, and they're like, "Oh, we found 18 more Earth-like planets, and we're gonna inhabit these planets like constantly every day." I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like, how do people not see this? Is garbage. There's no proof of it. Some dude wrote an article and it gets published somehow. It's just a joke.
Yeah, man. Moon, bro. That's what it is. So
that's not what it is. that's a lie, right? It's the craziness you have to deal with stuff like that. But
bro, I was dying when I saw that the other day, man. Seriously, that was like one of the first things I saw. Somebody, people are always sending me links to stories and all that, different videos, and I don't get to all of them. But when I do, it's usually hilarious, and I'm like, I gotta keep a note. I'm talking about this on the show, man. That's okay. Moon. So yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get up with that one. So
you might have to make some T-shirts, man.
Yeah, man.
The moon.
And they believe it. I'm gonna have to put it on there. But yeah, man. Shoot.
But you were talking about the
conference. Huh?
You were talking about the conference, right? You were asking me about the conference.
Yeah. I was gonna see if you were gonna be able to make it this year, man. I'm saying I don't know if I have. I need my security guard.
Yeah,
I need the bodyguard, man.
But I just won't have the time. like just a lot of stuff came up on that in that like next month. So it sucks,
Yeah.
man, because I really wanted to be able to go to Colorado too. That would be sick.
Yeah, dude.
Not like we'll see it if it's anything like last time. Last time we were, we were in the hotel the whole time. I don't think we took a breath outside for anything.
Not until it was over. Well, there was no, I think that was before the conference when we went to the. Well, no, you weren't there yet.
I wasn't there. Yeah, I came in that night.
Yeah, you came in the middle of the night, and we went over to this restaurant, maybe like a quarter mile away from the hotel. But yeah, after we got back from there, no, I was inside the hotel the whole time. It was dope, but
it was cold too.
Probably be the same situation over there. Yeah, in Denver. Well, we'll see, man. I haven't been to Denver, so I'm pumped about it. I actually need to call Robbie to talk to him about my presentation because I got some more stuff that I'm gonna want to present. Mark, my dude Mark Foster, and a couple other folks. My man Kendall and Preston. These guys, we were out there on the water again, and we got some footage, and I'm excited to share that with everybody, but I'm probably not going to do that until the conference. But it's going to be good. I can tell you that. But yeah, man, it's going to be cool. We were just out there a couple nights ago out on the water, playing with some equipment.
Dude, did you upgrade your P900 to 1,000?
Not yet. I still got the 900. I took some shots last night of the moon. It was like the little crescent. But yeah, man, it was I was looking at the 1,000, but some stuff came up, man. Somebody, the van broke down. The tow truck driver left it unlocked. Somebody broke in, stole some stuff out of here. So I was about to upgrade in. I'm like, nah, I'll hold off for a little bit. Not, I'll just relax. But it's all good, man.
You said somebody. You said somebody broke into the van.
Oh yeah. Well, no, not so much somebody broke in. Like somebody left the thing unlocked because I was on the way to the airport, and these guys, they were supposed to. Okay, so here's a story. Let's go all the way back. So I went to Canada a few weeks ago. I get to Canada, everything's cool. I have dinner with those guys, hang out, take some pictures, do a quick stream and all that. Then come back from Canada. Halfway, I start to hear some knocking low on the the rear axle on the driver's side. So I'm like, all right. So I've had issues with the axle before. I call a friend of mine a couple days later. He takes a look at it, writes me out an estimate, emails the thing to me. I take the thing over to the auto repair shop, Meineke. I hand the estimate. I pull the estimate up on my phone and hand it to the guy. The guy looks at the thing for about 4 seconds, hands it back to me. He's like, all right, well, yeah, I'm going to have my guy look at it. So they replaced the axle bearing instead of the whole axle like it said on the estimate that I gave the guy.
Right.
Since they took the cheap route, it ended up costing me more than the estimate said, by the way. Since they went the cheap route, I'm like, okay, the thing's fixed. Cool. I'm on the freeway heading to the airport. I look out the window. I see smoke. I pull off on the side of the road. I'm like, what's going on here? Shortly after I pull over, thing bursts into flames. I'm like, all right.
What?
I grabbed the flashlight. Dude, yeah, I grabbed not the flashlight. I grabbed the fire extinguisher, put the fire out real fast. And then, I still got to get to the airport because I'm flying out in a few hours. I still got to get the van fixed, so I can't drive that to the airport or it'll burst into flames again. So I had to call a friend to take me to the airport, had to call a tow truck driver to take the thing back to Meineke to get fixed because these guys screwed up. I leave keys with the tow truck driver. I believe he left the van unlocked. And, somebody got in, they stole a bunch of stuff. By the time I got back, man, I realized that, that they had took some things out of here. It set me back a few thousand. I can tell you that. But at this point, man, it's like So I was thinking about upgrading, but some things kind of came up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna hold off for a little bit. It's all good.
Hold up, let me get this straight. Somebody had the nerve to break into a flat Earth van.
Somebody, yeah. It was just a matter. I suspect that somebody just left the thing unlocked.
So somebody wants
just
a flat Earth ass whooping.
Somebody,
oh
absolutely.
God, man. That's
yeah, man.
crazy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, somebody got up in here, stole a bunch of my stuff, bro. So
dude, this sounds like the people who had it did that.
Yeah. Well,
it
ain't they
sounds
responsible? Ain't they responsible for it?
Look, but I'm saying I don't know who's responsible for it exactly, because it was like it was between the auto repair shop and the tow truck driver. I don't know when it was broken into, but the dude brought it back. I'm like, dude, all you had one job. Lock the thing up. Lock the thing up, put the keys, you know what I'm saying, in the spot to hide it, and then, you know, carry on. And then like the next day, the guys from Meineke were supposed to go out there and get the thing and bring it back into the shop and fix it. But between, I'm saying, I lost physical control of the van for 4 days because I had to get to the airport. So I left it with the guy freaking Thursday night, and I didn't get back until late Sunday night / Monday morning. So I have no idea exactly when it was broken into or who did it. I already filed a police report, but I'm saying, man, it's an ordeal. So I need to get in touch with small claims.
Did you get in contact with your insurance company?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you had that coverage for theft and vandalism?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, I know. They got me, man.
You probably could get all that replaced with a small deductible.
Nah. I would have had to have something like renter's insurance for it, and no, nope. There's none of that. Yeah, they're like, we cover damage to the vehicle, but not so much things inside the vehicle. I'm like, what's the point of you? Why am I paying you? Why am I paying you exactly? Y'all collecting $200 a month for what? To give me a little card so I can call you just in case? I'm like,
right.
See, this is why I used to skip insurance. You know what I'm saying? I used to make fake cars and just drive around with that. And if I got into an accident or something, I just paid $500, or I'll give somebody that money for the deductible when I roll out. Like, man, I'm not dealing with insurance. I'm going to give this company money just in case something happens. But if at the end of the year nothing happens, can I get my money back? Right. No.
How about 20% back, 30% back? How about 40% back? You know what I mean? They don't give nothing back.
Nothing.
They just raise up the rates.
Yeah, dude. I'm saying you can be sitting here with the same insurance company for 10 years, and if nothing goes wrong for 10 years, you giving them $200 every month. God dang it.
Right.
That's like $24,000 over the course of 10 years, and nothing happened. So can I get some of my money back? No. I just been paying for a card every 6 months. All right. Thanks, guys.
Man, you getting me mad right now. Think about that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Got me.
Think about it, folks. Yeah. We're handing them money to do what? But anyway, well, let me quit tripping.
First thing you need to do is get rid of that insurance company and get USAA if you're gonna have insurance. Because if any of my vehicles get broke into, I'm not only is the vehicle insured, all the contents of the vehicle is insured too, and anyone who rides in my car is insured. That's just how good my insurance is. So, and you're eligible because you're ex-military. Did you freeze, D?
Probably froze.
Yeah, he looked frozen. He looked pissed as hell, don't he?
Capture that screen.
That screenshot right there shows how pissed he is.
There's a way to do it too.
A way to do what?
Capture that right there.
Yeah, that's that pissed off look right there. Yeah, man, I'm jealous of your setup right there. That's gangster right there. Yeah, I like all that. You got it blurred in the background, dude. That yeah, yeah. I'm feeling. See, you gonna make me. I used to have equipment, lighting, and all that stuff, and I got out of that stuff, and I'm about to go back and get it again. Because you're right, the lighting is very important.
Yeah, it's key. It's key. There's a lot of little, if you have it already, there's
Yeah,
little you can do to make it that much better.
right,
And that's how I got into YouTube, was through the tech community. I started a tech channel, and
right.
there's years of building stuff up and buying TVs and getting
Yeah,
stuff shipped out to me and stuff like that. So um, that's why when I came across like the whole flat Earth thing, it was like I just used all the experience that I learned, like how to edit video, how to use Photoshop, how to manipulate images. I was like, wait a second, like I do this all the time. Like how the hell? So I just used that experience, and I literally was like, no, this is all fake. Like, what the hell? How did I never, that's what like it bugs me when I see other people who edit video, who do these things, who are good photographers, who are great with video, and they can't see like how they fake everything.
right.
Everything is fake. So
Everything.
how do you do this for a living and then not correlate like, well, you know, damn, that moon landing did look a little fake, or yeah, that photo is actually more of an image than an actual snapshot. Gee,
Right.
what is really going on? Like, I, oh man, yeah, I've been in arguments with people all the time. Like, dude, you are so good at, After
Yeah.
Effects. Can't you see that's what they're doing right now?
Exactly. Exactly. And you know what? One guy in the industry who came out with 9/11, he basically pointed out how the video was manipulated for the
Oh yeah,
planes hitting the buildings. You know what I mean? And
and that was
basically,
before people were actually,
he was talking
yeah,
about After Effects
yeah.
before people knew what After Effects and the one you just said, well, not After Effects, Premiere, Adobe Premiere. Because you can replicate all of that now.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the
Yeah,
craziest thing, is that like as big as YouTube is, it's what YouTube has done, not just for the truth community, but as a whole. Ooh, feedback.
Oh no.
You gotta mute the other one, yeah.
there you go. You good?
You muted both. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So one of the things that like YouTube has done is
Uh-huh.
turn a lot of people who would never try to learn how to edit video,
Right,
photos, any of that stuff. Almost, I would say, if you went to like, let's just say a high school, I would say almost every other kid who has a YouTube channel
right,
knows something about editing at this point.
right,
So that's another reason why I think a lot of people are waking up to this, because they see like how easy it is to do this. And I'm not
right.
saying editing video is easy, because it's not, but it's easier today than it was 10 years ago when
Oh
no one
yeah,
was doing it, you know?
oh yeah.
Today,
iMovie is crazy. You can
yeah,
do
today
anything with
every
iMovie.
little kid has a cell phone. He wants to be a vlogger, and he learns how to be, the next big vlogger. How does he do
Right,
that? He learns how to edit. He takes the
right,
time to watch tutorials. So it's like this whole community is and that's what I don't think they expected. I didn't think they expected YouTube to latch on to something and expose
right,
something this big so fast, because there's so many people waking up to it because they understand how easy it is to do these things.
right,
Like, it's no longer some dude with a $10,000 camera who
right.
shoots weddings or commercials for a living, or shoots movies. Like, no, everyone at this point has the same access to the same equipment, if
Yep,
not better.
yep.
So it's like they're really, their hands are tied at this point, and
Exactly.
a lot more
And you
people.
know who else? Who else could be credited for bringing this technology to people? Adobe. If
Oh
you get
yeah,
the Adobe suite,
yep,
you can learn. You can have access to all this stuff and know exactly, because that's what I did when they did the cloud,
yeah. I have the
Adobe
Adobe
Cloud.
C.
When they first dropped it, I think it was about maybe 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. When they first dropped it, I bought into it.
Yep.
Where because back in the day when you wanted, I did it for Photoshop, but that introduced me to After Effects, and that
Yep.
introduced me to Adobe Premiere, and also Adobe Audition.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
when I started learning that stuff, I started understanding how media is coming to me, right? To base what you just said. And now I can look at stuff and tell you if it's real or not. I mean, most of the time just by looking at it. And like my wife gets upset, I'll be watching a movie, I'll be like, oh,
Yep.
that's fake. That's green screen. That's green screen. Look at that right there. Look at this. Look at that. And you can do it now with like the news. The news is nothing but green screen.
Oh, the whole
Almost
thing.
all of it is green screen. It's crazy.
I go to well, I went a few years back, early on when I was this was the first year, so this is like 2015, right when I learned about, you know, the whole flat Earth aspect. But at the time, I didn't know how to share it, and I didn't know how to, like, my sharing it at that time was like, yo, you got to watch this 35-minute video, like, check it. And then people were just like, nah, bro, I'm not doing that. But I was at a conference. It's called CES, so it's Consumer Electronics show, and it's huge. It happens in Las Vegas. And dude, there's like a whole section the size of a football field, and the whole section is just all showing how they use green screens and VR, and how they can actually track people, and with the green screen, and do live editing. This is before like anyone knew this was stuff was actually happening. Everybody thought this is just Hollywood stuff, but
right,
90% of the people who use it, or the companies that use it, are like news agencies and stuff like that. And it's like, when I went there at the time, I wasn't really looking at that stuff, but like a few months later, I was like, wait a second, like I was there, I saw all this equipment, I saw all this new, like, they have cameras now that can make any room act like a green screen. It's like they shoot lasers, and it'll like cut you out of the whatever room you're in, and you don't need a physical green screen anymore. The camera does everything inside. It's crazy, dude. I'm like, I was seeing stuff that, to look back now, I was like, wow, this is next. And the funny thing is, I wish I would have been smart enough, you know, to be like, film all that and been like, boom, here you go. You guys think this stuff is real? Look how easy it is to manipulate stuff. Because if you would have seen some of the technology that they had there, it's like, man, and NASA has a $52 million budget a day. You think they can afford this stuff? Please.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's crazy.
Hey, Carlos, how about, I don't know, we hook up so you can I don't know, come by and give everybody kind of a tutorial on getting their set up. I mean, what do you think about interview in a few days?
Yeah, we could do that. That'll be cool. Like I said, that's a lot of the stuff that, you know, I told you a long time ago, when we first linked. I was like, man, you know, I want to help people who really want the help, not people who just want to talk about it. Like, people who really want the drive, you know what I mean? Like I get companies like this. I got a company who just sent me this, right?
What?
So I test a lot of this stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I know where the budget friendly mics are, and then the more expensive mic. So I know how to be like, look, this is what you need, right? This is more what you need. This is your price range. That's why when people ask me, like, what's your price range? Because depending on your price, and this depending on what kind of equipment I'm going to lead you towards, you can get a lot of stuff done with almost anything. You just got to know how to use it, right? So yeah, let me know, man. I'm down for that. I love to help people out with that aspect.
Cool. Yeah, we'll talk offline. Then I can put up some promo for anybody aspiring to expand their channel. Improve their content as far as audio, video, and we'll check the budget and all that. We'll get a time together, get you all back on here, people, and so you can get everybody up to speed. Maybe including myself, if I can, keep the stuff from getting stolen in here. But yeah, man.
The first thing you need to do is upgrade your machine. That's the first thing, because you can do you know how to do a lot of stuff now. Your machine is holding you back from being able to, because you just don't have enough processing power at this point.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the issue with my situation because I mean, I can't set up a CPU in here, man. You know what I mean? I can't pull enough power. I can't.
No, you know
Wait.
what though? This
You echoing.
Is that me?
He's echoing.
Yeah, that's you.
Ah.
So check this out, D.
Yeah.
You need to go. Who do you have service with?
Nobody.
Yes.
No, like your cell phone service.
Oh, AT&T.
Okay, so go to one of the stores and ask them for like jetpacks, and you get like 2 or 3 of those, and you know they're like data plans. You're gonna have to pay for it, and then that can be your internet, and you can connect multiple jetpacks, and it strengthens up the signal. So I know a dude who has like 4 or 5 jetpacks, and that's how he does live streams. Because he has terrible internet where he lives, and he lives in the building, and everything, and he has potato quality. And all of a sudden he went to one of those, Sprint or one of those places, and he bought a bunch of little they call them jetpacks, but they're just Wi-Fi hotspots. And then he connect them all, and then all of a sudden his signal was perfect. So that's something you can do just to get a consistent live stream.
But they can talk to the moon on a landline.
Right?
I mean,
easily.
How
did this.
How can we have problems with Wi-Fi in 2018 when, I mean, we've been to other galaxies and beyond.
Nah, man, look, we destroy the technology, and it's a painful process to build it back.
Okay. Oh, that explains it.
That reminds me, I was telling Chad Taylor on our interview, because as much as I'm not a part of the system no more in that aspect, I still, I'm in this. I love technology and stuff like that. The stuff that works, true science, right?
Yeah.
I'm big into television, but not television to veg out, but I watch it and I learn a lot from how they try to expose us to some truths, and then I obviously know when they're trying to just feed me garbage. So I like going to the movies and watching stuff. And I was seeing this last year alone, they're really pushing the whole moon landing. Now they have two things that are straight up pushing moon landing and just space, and how astronauts are these like amazing people, right? You have the one about Neil Armstrong, which I'm like, do I go see this? But the whole time I know I'm gonna just be like, have that doo-doo face on, just be, just be mad.
You like to suffer.
Yeah,
kind of, but at the same time, it's like research for us, because we see, I would go there, I would see, and I would probably produce a video showing like how look how dumb these people actually think that this stuff actually happened, and point that stuff to help people. You know what I mean? At the same time, it helps me to wind down and just. But there's a show, and then I was gonna make a video about this, but I'll just talk about it. It doesn't matter. There's a show on Hulu, and it's called The First. And it stars Sean Penn and a senior astronaut. The dude looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, bro. He's jacked up, right? And everyone in that cast, everyone who considers themselves an astronaut. So you got women astronaut, you got men astronaut. They're all between their late 30s to mid 40s. They all look like they're CrossFit trainers.
Well,
and everyone looks like, and everyone has like an IQ of like 1,000. Like, it's crazy. And then you look at our astronauts, and you're like, these guys are freaking bozos. They can barely talk. So when you look at this, the contrast between the, like, this is what we like as a human race, what we consider. I know when I was little, that's what I thought an astronaut looked like. Like someone who's fit as hell, who can solve a problem on this, drop of a hat, and it's just like, the cream of the creme. And yet we look at what we have, and it's like, how do you not see the difference, man? Like, these people don't even know how to speak half the time. They can't even agree on things. It's just like ridiculous.
Right, like that one interview where not letting even an interview where one guy was recording. He was doing a talk with Don Pettit, and he's like, so hey, wait a minute, so as far as the interior structure here, if you have a leak, I mean, you know, how exactly do you fix that? Because I mean, from outside to the inside, like, what's the protocol for that? And Don Pettit's like, well, I'm pretty sure there's some protocol. I'm not quite familiar with how that would go to repair the rivets and all that. And he's like, so what if you get a leak? He's like, well, you got a leak. Like, wait, what? You're out in space. If you got a leak, you got a leak. Well, duh, you got a leak. Well, how are you gonna fix it though? You know, but yeah,
and it's movies like Apollo 13 where you see them make an air conditioner out of duct tape and some tubes and socks, and you're like thinking that's what a scientist, that's what an astronaut looks like. Yeah, you guys can't even. I remember that interview because the guy is like, he goes back and he interviews the guy who actually made the capsule. He's like, did you know they used your design and so and so? And he's like, they did? The guy didn't even know. Like, and he looked like he was like, it worked. Like, it was makes no sense, man.
No. I'm saying like, and we saw. I think a lot of people saw Armageddon. How they went through all that training. You know, Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck. They're all going through all this physical training. They got Michael Clark Duncan in the little space simulator, flight simulator, and all that, throwing up. They had to get in a really good shape. And they were like, you guys aren't even qualified because you're not scientists and all that. So you expect these people to be able to like leg press 500 pounds while they're solving a Rubik's Cube. You know what I'm saying? But
that's what we imagine. That's what they sold to us all these years. And then when you look at the actual these actual people who consider themselves the creme of the creme, you're like, there's no way. This guy doesn't even look like he's an 8th grade substitute. Like, there's nothing in these, none of these, and even us talking about it, I guarantee in the next couple of years they're gonna start introducing like CrossFit type actors who are astronauts, because I'm telling you, I look at it and it's just boggles me how people can't see how easy it is to deceive the rest of the world, especially when you have clowns that don't even know what they're talking about. It's just, man, I don't get it, man. I just scratch my head like
it's blind faith.
Yeah,
blind faith. That's all it is.
A lot of it is like, how we all were. We just didn't think about it. So as long as we weren't thinking about it, we were being entertained. It was all good. Right. But once you start meeting people and seeing it, it's like, come on, man, this can't be. Like, you guys don't see this? Like, come on, man, don't argue with me. Look.
I don't know, but the smart people already took care of it, man. So don't overthink it, Carlos. Just go with it. Just go with it. And if you don't believe it, you're crazy.
For real.
What they tell us, but it's all good, man. All right, guys, go ahead and wrap this one up because we're freaking almost 2.5 hours trying to keep it moderate. But yeah, Carlos, let's hook up so we can chat in a couple of days, man. So you can give people the lowdown as far as the tech side of this thing.
Yeah, man, definitely. It'll be fun. I hope we can help a lot of people in this aspect, and like, hey, got any questions, let me know, bro.
I'm subscribing now.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate
because
that.
I need to do it myself.
Yeah, man.
See, my problem is I just don't give a damn. So I just be throwing up videos and I ain't thinking about it.
Right.
Hey, to each his own, man, and it works. It works.
No,
right.
I want to get better, so that's why I got to do it.
Yeah, and I need to. I'm saying I'm still working through my personal stuff, so I'm still trying to work these things out, man. But it's all good out here. But at any rate, man, let me say goodnight to the folks in the chat. Special shout out to Tony Smith and China Mrs. Jones. Sure appreciate you all. We got Daniel Miranda in the house, Larry Lee Joyner. Everything's love. How you doing, lady? Joey B, True Seeker, Zane's in the house. Virginia Chase, Backpack Zoe, Stephanie S, Larry Stevens. You're good, man. Conan, what's happening? Americis De La Victoria. Tyron, what up? What up? There's Lady Legs in the house. Who else we got here? Sarada Infinity, Kevin Washington, Monty, Stephen Kennedy, the great, the crew. My man Carlos in the house, dropping the link. Subscribe to Vegan Warrior. Subscribe to Carlos Pagero. We're gonna get that guy on so we can talk some of this high tech stuff as far as how to improve your channel. But hope everybody has a great weekend.
Never subscribe to the Vegan Warrior.
Make sure you subscribe to Vegan Warrior.
Absolutely not.
Good cop back.
But yeah, man. All right, fellas. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah.
Sending that invite, man.
Hey, no problem, man. We'll be in touch, brother. Appreciate y'all, guys.
Nice to meet you, Carlos.
Same here, man. It's a pleasure, man.
All right, brother.
All right, thanks. All right, folks. As always, be good to each other. Take care of yourself. Stay flat. See you next time. Thank you. Boom, boom.